Hi, welcome to Devotion with Achiro. If you're new here, thank you for passing by. Our old subscribers, thank you for coming back. Our topic for today is Resurrection Power. Yes, Resurrection Power. Easter is around the corner, and there's no way we can talk about Easter without Christ because as Christians, we know the significance of Easter, that if Christ had not risen from the dead, we would not have Christianity as we have it today. Then our faith would be baseless. So our topic will be taken from Romans 8:11, which says that the Spirit of God who raised Christ from the dead lives in you. And just as God raised Christ from the dead, he will give life to your mortal bodies by this same Spirit that lives in you. Yes, the Spirit of God that raised Christ from the dead lives in you and I. You know, how relevant is that to us? As a Christian, I walk around knowing that I have the Spirit of God. I have the power of God in me, and nothing is impossible with God, and nothing can stop me. I am an unstoppable force because God Himself lives in me. So today I want to encourage you. Is there anything that is dead in your life? Is there a situation that you feel like, oh my God, this is irreversible? I'm here to encourage you that the Spirit of God who raised Christ from the dead lives in you. The Spirit of God that raised Christ from the dead lives in you, and He'll give strength to your bodies. He'll give life to that dead situation. So I'm urging you today, get up. Get out of that dead situation. Speak to it. Speak to it with boldness. Speak to it. If you read Ephesians, Paul was praying the same prayer that we read now. He was praying it to the Ephesians. And he was like, that I pray that the spirit of wisdom comes upon you. The spirit of wisdom. That God may give you enlightenment. That you know the power. That you know that which is in you, the magnitude of it, that God raised Christ from the dead and He seated Him far above principalities, rulers, and authorities. You can comprehend that. Then you significantly know that you are seated with Christ in heavenly places. You are seated with Christ far above what is going on around you. Amen. I'm going to give a story about myself. A few years ago, I was in this country. I live in Norway, and I was in a ditch, if I could say, something that a hole that I feel like I was not going to come out of that situation. Everything was not working out, and I had lost hope. All I used to do is just cry, sit down and cry, sit down and cry, and worry about myself. I went into a deep depression. And then one day the Spirit of God told me, if I don't change, if I don't just revisit my thoughts, I'm going to end up dead with a heart attack. Then that day I just woke up and told myself, you know what? My happiness does not depend on what is going on around me. I am going to choose to be happy. Then since then, I started exercising the power of God in me. And I started living a life of joy, of fulfillment, even when I didn't have anything. And so I'm encouraging you today. In that dead situation, you can still live a life of fulfillment. Not because everything is okay, not because you got it all sorted, but because you know that God is with you. The Spirit of God is with you. And it's just a matter of time that all these things will sort themselves out. It's just a matter of time. So you walk with confidence. You walk with the assurance that I am going to overcome. I am an overcomer. So today, as we celebrate Easter, as we remember the death and resurrection of Christ, remember the power of God that lives in you. That same power lives within you. And Speak to that dead situation around you. Speak to it. Because the Bible says that we have the power. We have power in our tongues. Whatever we decree in on earth is decreed in heaven, just as it is above, and so is it here. So this Easter, stay encouraged, stay uplifted, that there is no dead situation in around you that will still remain the same, that there is nothing impossible with God. Amen. The resurrection power of God lives in you. That is my takeaway, your takeaway for this Easter. Stay blessed until we meet again. It's me, Ajiro. Keep tuned. Like and subscribe and share.